You're listening to the Unshamed podcast. We talk about important topics that are culturally taboo when it comes to the female body, mind, and soul. We want to break down shame that surrounds these topics so that women can be empowered in their everyday lives. Make sure to like and subscribe and share this with your friends. Welcome to the Unshamed podcast, you guys. I'm Katie Edgman. And this podcast is sponsored by Zoe Community. It's an organization that wants to empower women in crisis pregnancy. Said that fast, crisis pregnancy. Also women who've been through miscarriage, termination, anything you can think of that has to do with unplanned pregnancy or a pregnancy that is crisis. I'm part of Zoe Community, we believe that the best way to deal with shame in our society is to share our stories and to share information, share that with each other, and learning to be secure in our own bodies too is another part of breaking that shame cycle. So on this podcast, we talk about everything related to women's health, mind, body, and soul. So if you want to hear more, click like and subscribe so you don't miss any of the future episodes. Today, we're actually going to talk about three women's health tips. I'm like, what are we talking about today? I can't remember. I need some more coffee. I do. So the 3 tips. First tip, don't skip your yearly checkup. That would include anything that has to do with STI testing and contraceptives. If you haven't started doing that, it's time to do it, ladies. Get going. Every 3 years, you'll have a smear test. But other than that, every single year, go get yourself tested if you're sexually active for chlamydia, gonorrhea, and syphilis. And make sure you get tested at least once for HIV. Get tested more often if you're at risk, like if you are having sex, say, with a man who has sex with other men. That would put you in a higher risk category. So make sure that you get tested a little more often if you're in that category. What was I going to say? Oh, at that appointment, you're going to want to talk to your GP about contraception, like I'd said before. It's funny, GPs don't like lumping other topics in to one visit. They like for you to spread those out, I guess. But it has to do with your reproductive health. So, hey, it counts, right? This is the second tip. Make sure that you take, I'm going to grab my prop here. You take some folic acid every day. And one of these little guys, I'm not sure, there's 90 tablets in here, so this is more. For about a 2-month supply, I didn't say it in the mic. It's actually like less than €3 at the chemist. So it's really not a big deal, super inexpensive. It's totally doable. The thing about folic acid, the reason why it's so important is that the developing fetus won't, if you were to get pregnant, the spinal cord for the developing fetus won't fuse properly without folic acid. So women who are deficient in folic acid can give birth to children who have spina bifida. So that's super important for women who are of childbearing age to take it. Now, I know like a lot of you guys might be like, oh, hold up, I don't want to get pregnant. No big deal. Some of you might even be like, hey, I'm pretty sure I would go get a termination if I got pregnant. But you just never know when it comes down to it if you will decide to do that. You just don't know what the decisions you're going to make in the future to do that or not do that, or really how you're going to feel when you get pregnant or if you get pregnant. So regardless, just make sure you take it. I'm super forgetful. I really should keep it by my bed with my pills, so I just remember to take it. I've been keeping it in the kitchen lately and have been totally forgetting because of that. I thought I'll take it with breakfast. No, I just do not remember that stuff. So like if I give birth to a kid with 2 heads or something, let that be a warning, you know. I'm just kidding. Like that's not going to happen. But take your folic acid. Just don't be like me. Remember to do it. Third tip. Don't overdo it on the calcium. I know it sounds like weird because we're all just inundated with the knowledge that women need more calcium. You know, we should drink our milk. Our moms all like really pushed the milk when we were kids, you know. I hated milk growing up. I like it now, but as a kid, I just didn't want to drink it. So my mom would make it in just multiple ways. She put like a little vanilla, a little sugar in, and would call it, she'd call it something, I can't remember, but it was like a fancy milk to try to trick me into drinking it, or just chocolate milk. And she'd put it in, I had this Disney cup that was like Belle, but if you shook it, the outside had like a snow globe effect. I don't know if any of you guys, any babies in the 90s, like if you ever, kids in the 90s, if you ever had this cup. So I always remember her putting chocolate milk in this cup, and I'd remember like I'd stick a straw in it and just drink it all the way down until I would know it was almost done if it was at like the bottom of Belle's dress. But that's just my oh boy, I tried to drink so much milk when I was a kid that I just did not like. But there's lots of things other than milk that you can drink, and lots of other ways that calcium gets into your body. Almonds, salmon, Chinese cabbage, that's one of them. Broccoli, kale. Oh my God. Someone please convince me that kale is good. I have tried. I'm just not a believer. So if you are a believer, let me know. There's like a recipe that you have for kale. But there you can get too much calcium. That was the whole point of this, is that if you have too much calcium in your body, taking in too much, you're more at risk for kidney stones, actually. So make sure that you're getting at least 1,000 milligrams of calcium, but no more than about 1,300. That's when you get to be a really old lady and you really need more calcium, but we'll deal with that later. But for now, let's avoid the kidney stones. We don't want a hospital visit. No. So we can keep the calcium just not insanely high, right? So that was our tips. Just 3. Gosh, it's over so fast. Next time, we'll be talking about a lot of women's health myths. Very interesting. Because there's a lot of things out there, a lot of stuff that like great aunt so-and-so would have said, hey, don't do that. All right. Well, a lot of things out there. And plus, people be crazy on the internet. So that's another episode, too, that we'll talk about in the future. We'll talk about like what are some great ways to find really good women's health information on the internet and avoid the crazy. Yeah, let's talk about that in the future. If you want to be reminded about future episodes and stuff like this, definitely click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Click like so you know that we like us, because we need the likes. We don't need likes. We're secure. We're fine. But don't miss the next episode, ladies. Subscribe. For now, your whole self is gorgeous, just as you are. Keep living unshamed. We hope you've enjoyed this episode of the Unshamed podcast. Join us next time for another topic that we hope empowers you. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share this with your friends.